morning. So on my share book this week, I want to discuss this. It's 21 Common Keys to Financial Overflow by Dr. Paul Enenche. If you read this book, you will appreciate the core fundamental points, where basically these are the real aspects that you need to understand in order for you to operate in financial overflow. I read this book in one sitting. Picked up this book around 10 o'clock and I finished it in around 4. So I'm just challenging you. You don't have to take a whole day or weeks, months to read books. If you give it your time, if you subject your attention and focus on books, you will be able to get the best out of it. And also, I'd like to let you know that you can't really grasp everything in one sitting. That's why you need to read a book like 3 to 4 times before it can really begin to enter into you. So the word comes by hearing and hearing again. So you read and read again, and it begins to make meaning. Alright, so I'll just, for those who haven't read the book, let me give you some of the, all of the 21 keys, and then I'll tell you some of the things I learned. Number 1, we're talking about maintaining the God mentality first. That is key number 1. And then we have maintaining the lifestyle of sowing and sacrifice. Then we have maintaining an income source. Then he writes about avoiding indebtedness and borrowing. He also talks about maintaining absolute confidence in God. He talks about sowing the seeds of favor and mercy. He talks about delaying your gratification. Also key number 8 is keep on learning and improving yourself. Also we have be committed to covenant practice of tithing. Key number 10, maintain a reserve. Number 11, produce quality, deliver excellence. Number 12, avoid waste. Number 13, be faithful in all you do. Number 14, partner with God. Number 15, offer solutions and meet needs. Number 16, decrease your expenditure and increase your investment. Number 17, be diligent in all you do. Number 18, maintain a large vision. Number 19, maintain the lifestyle of excitement and gratitude. Number 20, maintain character, display integrity in your business. And then number 21, connect to divine inspiration and guidance. Alright, so these are the 21 keys. I hope you got that. So he talks about the overflow. How do children of God come into an overflow? One striking thing, let me read here from chapter 1. There's a part he says, I'll just read the whole paragraph. In the year 2007, we held an all-night crusade at the Abuja National Stadium in Nigeria. The event cost millions of naira for just one night. Imagine if the same events were held in every city and every nation of the world. You can guess the massiveness of resources that would be needed to push the gospel. That is why God is mindful of giving His people the overflow, so that poverty does not close the mouth of the gospel. See, until the message of prosperity started coming, it was a norm. It was believed that God's people ought to be pious and modest, but that's not the case. It's not true. It's the lie of the devil. Poverty brings shame. Lack and want brings shame. And God is not a God of shame. God is a God of glory. And therefore, everything He is provided in the earth are meant for His people. But we need to get an understanding of what it takes to access the unlimited treasures of God. Honestly, the treasures of God are unlimited. But how come we're so limited in it? Alright, so let me read you it also says here, a poor church cannot help a poor generation. A poor church cannot help a lost generation. Poverty is not the place of the church, and therefore we see today how God has restored the church from that place of ignominy to a place of glorious wealth. And it's speaking across churches. God's servants, Bishop David Oyedepo, Pastor Deboye, Dr. Paul Enenche, we can see the manifest, prowess and capacity of the church these days because of the flow of wealth into the house of God. So you and I as Christians need to access that overflow. Let me also read you something here from the chapter that talks about avoid indebtedness. It says, when a man begins to look for whom to get money from, he has decided to look away from God. So God is a supplier. He is the only one we have to look up to when we need things. But, we've gone a borrowing, and that means we have taken our trust away from God and looked unto man. And that makes God's hand short that He cannot, stretch forth and give us what we need because we have looked away from Him. I also read you here something important. This is from the part, the key that says, sow the seeds of favor and mercy. It says a frown cannot remain on your face if you are in the business of putting smiles on the faces of people. So, when God said, if you lend to he that lended to the poor lended to God. So, every time you, like Job, you put smile on the face of people, God also ensures that you take a smile. I would encourage you to read this book if you are seeking to enter into the financial flow. Just don't read it once, right? Go twice, thrice, until the spirit of the word enters into you, and then you begin to, find yourself practically living each of these 21 keys to financial overflow, written by Dr. Paul Enenche. Dr. Paul Enenche is the General Overseer of the Dunamis International Gospel Center, headquartered in Abuja, and he's a man of God that has been impactful to this generation, and it will transcend this generation to other generations. Alright, so that's just a little tidbit from this book. I'm not going to read much to you because I want you to get a grasp of it. You are a child of God, you are entitled to financial overflow, and that overflow does not just limit to you, it extends to your generations, provided you are kingdom-minded, because God will channel that overflow to you so that the church can expand and the glory of the church will be made known. By the way, when we say the church, we're talking about you and me. We are the glory of the church, not the building, not the pastor. And so when God blesses us, we experience that glory. Alright, so till I share another book with you, have a good one, and I see you entering into your financial overflow.